Hello, willkommen, ¿cómo estás, mis amigos? Cisco Gomez here, extremely excited to talk to you about some challenging conversations that apparently have stigmas attached to them. I also want to break down the stereotype that us men cannot communicate and we can't be allies and we can't access our emotions. Those are things of the past. Me and my co-hosts are trying to cancel culture because it's time. We're not tiptoeing anymore. We want open dialogue, open conversations, and have teachable moments. And if this means that you disagree with something we say, please teach us. Our ears and hearts are open. Yes, you heard me correctly. I said we, and you know by now that I'm not alone. To the left, I've got the multi-talented entertainer, Dwayne Nosworthy. Let's go.
Let's really go.
Yes, and then to my right, I have the king of Ginger Kingdom, Kane Silver.
What's up, yo?
Yes, boys. How are we?
Beautiful.
Good, man. We're good.
How are
good
you?
to see you, brother.
I'm great. You know, before we get into this one, can I please share a question?
Oh.
Yeah.
Really random. So every time I'm in a club, right? Or in a social setting and I hear a really good song, I get really excited because I love music. But I've got Shazam shame. So when I Shazam, I will do this because I'm conditioned to like almost put it next to the speaker or the loudest part of the room, right? So we can get the song. But as soon as I do that, I get embarrassed and I put it underneath. Why is that? Do you get embarrassed by Shazamming?
I don't Shazam.
Just about to tell you the same thing.
Right,
I'm
so
on
that was
Android.
that subject.
Why don't you like hold it to your ear, like pretend you're on the phone?
No, but why is that embarrassing though for me to want to get a song?
Well, the question is why? I'm asking.
Exactly.
No, but let's ask you why. What? Because you're asking us.
Hey. I asked the questions I'm getting.
What's that about? What are you embarrassed about?
I don't know. I try to decipher because like, what's embarrassing about it?
Is it a song that you're the only one vibing to and everyone else doesn't
No,
like
even
it? Then
that.
that's
Oh, hello.
embarrassing.
I listen to Venga Boys and K-pop. I'm sure I've lost that battle already. Okay, like I don't know, and I don't understand how or why I've attached shame to it. You know what? Food for thought. Another episode, maybe, huh?
Yeah, you're gonna have to think about that one.
I
bro.
thought I was going to be able to bounce off my boys on this one, but not today. Okay.
We'll download Shazam later and see what happens.
Yeah, so-
If the song comes on in Costa, I'll put it to the sky.
I just wouldn't be shamed. I'd do it the raggle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so weird. So weird. Another strange thing about Cisco. Oh, well. Boys, today is quite a deep conversation because it's a very controversial topic. I think there's a massive divide between what's right and what's wrong. And so I want to remind both of you that there's no wrong or right answer. It's just answering honestly. Okay? The question I want to bring to the table is, can a man hit a woman? Now, culturally, and I think socially, we know that we've been taught as well, well, most of us men, that we never put our hands on women. But I saw something from the rise of the millennial era. I was someone who's born in the early 1980s onwards. Women just act different, and what decorum was back then is different now for men and women. And I think as women are now getting, are fighting the good fight and getting a seat on the table, and feminism is at its peak and it's being commercialized and it's accessible to men and women, etc., etc. I feel like some women abuse that and are getting too big for their boots, and not by wanting equal rights and equal pay. None of that. Oh, by that, I will always advocate with you, my female listeners and friends and foes, etc., etc. My problem is, when was it okay for women to treat men like punching bags? Because when I was younger, and I'm talking about 2021, I stopped going to straight clubs or to straight clubs because of the way women were rolling. I would be like doing my little two-step in front of the DJ, sipping my little pina colada, whatever.
Holding
and
your
then
phone up, Shazam.
Hey, it's a sensitive
Sorry.
subject. And women would just barge me and go move or look at me like they're about to fight me. And I'm just like, I know I can't fight you, so why be put in these situations where like I'm going to be aggravated, or I'll see at the end of the night when everyone's had too many drinks, girls clapping syllables in man's faces and pushing them and doing this. And I'm just like, yo, like where I'm from, you get beaten up for that, man or woman, right? And so because my mum taught me correctly, and because I came from a household where my dad was handsy with my mum too, I knew never to do that. But I'm one of those people that when you trespass into my kindness, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And under the comment section or the description section, there's three videos that if you guys have the time, listeners, to click on, just it's an example of when women, in my opinion, have taken it too far. And gentlemen, how do you feel about this situation? I know that it's a loaded question because you can't really answer in a black and white manner, can a man hit a woman? But how do you feel about that, Dwayne?
Personally,
Yeah.
Personally, I'm never going to put my hands on a woman. However, if she puts her hands on me, she has opened the door for me to be able to put my hands on her.
To retaliate, right.
Yeah. But I'm going to choose not to. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to tolerate you putting your hands on me. So if I have to restrain you,
Right.
if I have to call somebody in to say, listen, deal with this. Be it friends, police, whatever. Do you know, whatever it is that I need to do to ensure that I don't become reactive and I now respond accordingly. Because I've got zero tolerance to BS in my life, innit? So I'm not going to tolerate you putting your hands on me. I may not see the first slap. I may not see that coming, right? So, cool, you slapped me. You're not putting your hands on me again.
Right. What about you, Kane?
To me, it's a big no-no. Like,
What is?
Just people hitting people.
Yeah.
Periods.
I think that's what we all forget.
Yeah.
Where, like, people just shouldn't hit people. I think, you know, if a woman hit me, I wouldn't hit her back. Even though not all things are equal, because I'm 5'8", and if this chick is 6'4" and 250 pounds, she'd probably beat the shit out of me, even if I did hit her back. Like, if I hit, if Amanda Nunes hit me and I hit her back, she's gonna beat me up. Like,
Right.
it's not all equal. I think that's something which we go men and women. You know, we separate it, but it's not always. That's not always the story.
Like biologically.
Biologically, like by
Right.
gender, like that's not always
Yeah.
how this works.
Right.
But I still, I don't agree with it whatsoever. But I also think if a woman hits a man, play stupid game, win stupid prizes. Like,
whoa, come on. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're opening yourself up to the unknown. Like, you shouldn't take hit for granted that he has the nice decency that we have.
I think it's abuse. Our chivalry is abused because it's like what I see from like when I witness these encounters, whether it's on YouTube or face to face, what I see is the women knowing that you shouldn't hit me, so I'm going to do this because I know you're not supposed to hit me.
Yeah, don't abuse that.
And when you see that, again, that's why I was talking about when you trespass into my manners and my kindness, we're going to have a problem. Because one of the videos that I asked you gentlemen to watch was so bizarre. It was they were on a game show.
That was the last one.
Right.
Yeah,
and there was
one.
one of the co-hosts was kind of like a Gordon Ramsay character on steroids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was very aggressive and whatever, to the point where it was like, you're doing a little too much. Because
We know the backstory as to why she was speaking to these people like this.
This is it. I don't know if it's a show that she does that all the time.
Right.
Or is she a special guest? And because my thing is, gentlemen, if you knew this character was part of the brand, why put yourself in those situations? Because she's going to take it there.
Yeah.
That's her job. And she gets away with it. And that's what gets the views. But if she is not part of the show and this was her time appearing in the show and she's acting that way, she's basically telling them, belittling them, calling her idiots, swearing at their faces, basically doing the most. And then she has the audacity to walk up to one of the contestants whilst verbally abusing him and cold slaps him.
It wasn't a soft one.
It
wasn't.
Like, that was.
And so
In.
the gentleman
Instantly.
reacted and slapped back. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to say it how it is. I was like, if I wouldn't have reacted like that, then I don't know what was going through my head. Because if a woman is being that aggressive with me and she slaps me, it wouldn't be me like, I'm going to beat you up. It would, as soon as that hand laid on me, the other one, and that's just my reaction.
But that's what happened. Like, there was no time for him to think about it.
It was
as
like-
if it was like.
Yeah.
By the way, all he said, how you slap.
Because he didn't
How
even.
you slap.
How you slap? Like, why? He's like, why did you slap me? I think like what Cisco spoke about, like, if that's her character, I think they were taking that like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. She then went above and beyond that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too
and
much.
slapped
Yeah.
him. Like, what TV show allows physical
Yeah.
Because his reaction was actually after he'd already slapped her. It's as if the realization
of
had
everything,
kicked in
yeah.
after he'd already...
Yeah, because he slapped him, and then he's like, why did you slap me?
Yeah,
Da-da-da.
but there's
Yeah.
like a little pause before it. Like,
Of
you can see
course.
like he's digested what has just happened.
I think as well because if you see the footage, it's either in I believe it could have been India, could have been Pakistan maybe,
Yeah.
and you know they're known for statistically a lot of women being beaten there. So there's always this like thing now where like, you know, as women take their seat in the table, we're not gonna take that anymore, right?
Of course.
But that footage to me was a complete abuse of power, and he was belittled. Now, gentlemen, if you were going to a show knowing that that character was there, then I don't believe that slap back was warranted, because that could be worst case scenario, because she's got a mouth. She makes Gordon Ramsay look like a Disney character. You know, she was vile.
But like you said, a mouth on her's fine. She then slapped him.
Walked up to him and slapped him. It was just too much.
Like they never reacted to her
Right.
verbally abusing them.
Yeah.
They didn't react to that. They were like,
Yeah.
it was when she physically abused him.
Yeah.
She took it up to another level.
Yeah.
You're in the boundary has been crossed.
Yeah.
You've taken it too far.
But what I didn't like about it was, you know, the build up to it, like, we don't know. Like, it could be like an SAS Who Dares Wins, that they're pushing you to the ultimate limit. You could have that Gordon Ramsay character. But so that's what I'm assuming, because she's speaking to them in this way, and the other host, the male, is like chilling there like this is normal.
Yeah.
And then
and so are they.
and so are
to
they.
a degree.
And like the guy who she hits, she says something to him and he responds back like you do or something like that. And she hits him. What interested me is that no one responded until he hit her back.
Of course not, because
Like,
it's like
other
it's
host
allowed.
didn't go- yeah, the other
allowed
host
for
wasn't
her
like,
to
"What
do
are you
it."
doing?" or anything. And
Yeah.
as
Very
soon as
true.
he did, and as soon as he hit back, men
The-
from
yeah.
I mean, they
everywhere.
basically beat him up.
So
Yeah.
for those listeners who don't have access to this on YouTube, basically what happened as soon as that co-host slapped the man and he literally instantly slapped her back, literally like 5 to 10 men came out of nowhere and started pinning down this man, which
Yeah.
I understand they had to separate their fight, but they were actually being aggressive to him and I think beating him as well. And I can understand where they're coming from.
The male host was definitely beating him.
Yeah.
The male host came to the aid of the woman, which I understand, but without telling her, why'd you slap me?
Yeah, it's like that double standard. It's not fair. It's like, why do you think that particular woman that you're allowed to slap him, but you're not gonna receive any repercussions? It's the entitlement of it all for me.
Yeah.
And you know, Whoopi Goldberg, you know, multi-talented actress, and she's in a panel show called The View.
Yep.
And so this topic came up, and she looked at the camera straight and was like,
Straight.
if a woman's prepared to deliver a beating, be prepared to take it.
Straight.
Regardless of the size of a man. And I was just like, yes. Because there's a deeper situation to this. No one should be hitting anyone.
Which is what she said.
Yeah, which
She actually
she
said
stressed
that.
it out. But
That was the first point.
but we're so conditioned that like, no, it doesn't matter what the woman does. Don't you put your hands on her. And then like, I remember having this conversation with other people and they're like, Cisco, if only you understood it. I was like, you haven't asked a question. Backstory on me, my dad tried it with my mum so much. My dad he had a problem with the alcohol. He wasn't the best father. And so he projected. And my mum, you know, she's got a fire tongue too. She wasn't having it. And so they clashed. And my dad would try so hard to beat my mum, but it'll backfire because my mum was a Trojan. You know what I mean? And so when people say, oh, you know, you don't know how it feels or what the backstories are, I come from that backstory. That doesn't mean that a woman is allowed to do that just because a woman got brought into this world with a handicap, you know, because I do believe women are born with a handicap in this world. It's unfair. Like these men are making these rules, silencing women, whether it's through religion, through equal pay, for everything. Like, I get it. And this is why me, as a gentleman, I will try my best in any way when I can to assist and to be there for women and be ally for women, because they're the superior beings to me. They birth us.
100%.
And I'm just like,
100%.
some of the stuff that we're talking about, even this day and age, why are we still talking about it? Women deserve 50-50, period. But
Well, they deserve their 100.
Yeah.
Because that's
Thank
the
you,
thing.
thank you,
It's
exactly.
Like, I deserve my 100 and they deserve theirs. What's happened is that we've taken away from their 100 and they're only now getting that back.
Right.
They deserve their 100. 'Cause
Right.
not everything is 50-50.
Exactly. But I just believe putting your hands on a man is a no-no, because if, for example, it does get to the point where the man loses control, or he's petty, or he just reacts like that gentleman in that video where it's almost instantaneously as it happened, it's like you cannot now be like, oh my God, call the services. How dare you? Like, no. And I see that a lot in America, specifically like in games, like these women shouting and screaming at the top of their lungs about the stupidest subjects to a man. And then the man's retaliating. Most of the time when I see it, they're not retaliating with the same volatile behavior. But these women think that because they're not getting their way, now's the cue for a slap. And then one of the other footages that I had you gentlemen see was, I believe it was a baseball game or a football game. And this woman is going, like, literally, like, veins popping out of her. And she's shouting at this black gentleman.
He's a Karen.
Yeah, totally.
Pure Karen.
And then she slaps him. And he wants to hesitate, but he's like, oh, no, I'm not having it. Slaps her back. But as he slaps her back, then the other men...
Her man gets up.
Right, but I'm like, excuse me, gentlemen, where were you to stop that? Because when the woman is like, when you're touching nostril to nostril, I'm moving your face, male or woman, because where I'm from, once you come into my zone and you start and you're really like active with your hands, I don't know if you're coming for me or talking at me, but guess what? I'm not going to wait to find out. So I'm
not getting hit first.
I'm not going to slap you.
But
I am going
to move you from my space.
I'm not putting myself in that situation. And I always said to myself, because I haven't been in a situation so hostile like that, but I do have a story I want to share where like my chivalry was tested. But if, for example, we're talking about the extreme two cases that we were just talking about and what Whoopi was kind of saying, the man I am now, if I'm in a situation where a woman is going like E-Honda style from like the Street Fighter.
Honda, bruv.
Do you know what I mean? yeah, you know, like, or she's trying to Chung Lee me. I'm gonna be verbal. I'm gonna be, because you know I'm a choreographer. I'm gonna be doing my Neo Matrix, and I'm gonna be like, whatever your name is, Susan. Let's call her Susan. Susan. As soon as you hit me, you get 2. So call a friend. So I'm ducking and diving. Because if you hit me, I'm not that guy that I'm not gonna do nothing. I will stop the matter.
Yeah,
we can talk about this. If talking ain't working and I'm still dipping and doing, and especially if she's got nails and this face is going to be scarred, I'm not taking a hit for you, babes. I'm scrunching you, yanking you down, and waiting until you calm down. I'm not going to beat you. I'm not going to hit you. But I will restrain you, but I'll restrain you nice and tight.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like, you know, like Emily Rose contortion. Yeah, I'm not gonna push you away. No. I'm gonna get you, and then someone needs to come and defuse the situation, or I'll let go once you've learnt the lesson and you're ready to like go your way. Right. But I'm not going to take a beating. No. For as a man, just because you're a woman, I'm not going to take a beating, but I will never beat you. No. I will never beat you. I will defend myself and I'll restrain myself. And how I restrain you, that's up to me depending on the situation.
To be honest, I move like that, male or female.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fight nobody. I'm not a fighter, but I can fight and I can defend and protect myself.
Right.
That's me. I know. Like, you come in my vicinity, know that you're in my domain. If I feel threatened in any way, male or female, what I'm going to do is act accordingly. So I know the only thing that's under my control is me. So I'm going to remove myself from this space.
The situation, yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm not going to thump no one down, but I am going to squeeze their face off. This is a guaranteed. I know my strength. I know if I hold you, I'm not letting go until personally I feel that you have either chilled or you're dead.
It's safe to let go.
Yeah. And I don't want to be in that space where I'm no longer in, when I say in control, I understand that I have to release and relinquish control to certain situations, but I don't want to lose control to the point where I no longer know who I am in the situation.
Where you do something you regret.
That's what's scary, because with me,
that's where you can go.
I don't have a 50%. And so for my mum and my father, they're both naturally very angry people.
Right.
And growing up, I saw a lot of hostility. So I've got access to that. What it is, I know better. But the problem is, there's certain things that happen where it comes out.
It triggers you.
And a silent tear comes out, and there's no logic. That's why, like, some of my friends say that if there was ever a knife moment or like a do or die moment, I'm the best bet, because in that moment, it's you or me.
Right.
Yeah.
I would hate that to be to a man, to someone younger than me, to an elder, especially to a woman, because I worship women. I love, oh my God, like, you don't understand. Love women. But like, I can't get to that place. So I need to do what I need to do. And that might be yank a track and just hold you.
Yank and retract.
You know, yank and retract. Just to like.
No, I understand that.
Because if I get there,
It's a problem.
And I'm like my mum. My mum used to say to me, like, if I kill you, I'm staying there until the police comes. I'm taking all responsibility, but I did what I did.
Yep.
And unfortunately, as backwards and black and white as that is, that's in me.
Me too.
Like, because, and also being gay and a man of color, you have, like, you have to be there ready.
Yeah, there's a
ready.
fight or flight.
Do you see what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't come from that scene. So it's like a lot of these women, when they do this, I was like, you're not thinking about the repercussions or the domino effect from here. Like, that's more damaging than what's actually happening.
Do you know the sad part of it? Yeah, is that I think that women are moving now. Not all women, just certain women are moving with zero consequences.
Yeah.
Like, you're moving without actually acknowledging that there is a consequence for every action.
But
I'm not into there's a reaction for every action, because I teach my kids that there is a consequence rather than a reaction. People should respond accordingly. So even if you're an idiot, that doesn't mean that I should react your idiotness. Why am I reacting the action that I didn't like that you did? So I don't want to react. I need to respond accordingly. Silly behavior, silly results. Smart behavior, smart results. Good behavior, good results. That's how I see things. So for me, I know that I'm in control of all of that. So I think women are getting into this space of entitlement, some women, entitlement, and they're moving in this space of entitlement, which they believe there is zero consequence for their behavior, regardless of how they choose to show up.
And I believe also where it comes from, and female listeners, help me out on this one, but I also think it's because some women or most women are so sick and tired of being in the backseat of a man's world that aggression is now at the forefront, because their voices is now starting to be at the forefront.
I support that, Cisco. I support that 1000%.
I do, but don't hit.
But don't project onto me. This is something that I tell to all of my females in my life. I say, I have no problem with you sharing how you feel with me, right? So even if you are angry, you're frustrated, I have zero problems with you sharing that. The moment you project it onto me, so you haven't actually got to physically do something to me for me to feel like I don't like this, right? If you project how you feel onto me, be that aggressively or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, explain what you mean by project, like as in how they communicate it.
How you communicate is based on you're choosing to show up and share this information with me in a way that is not conducive to us actually communicating. You're projecting how you feel to me rather than sharing how you feel. You're talking at me rather than talking to me.
Yeah.
Do you know, there's a difference.
And
Do you know what I
usually
mean?
projection usually has another a sister or a cousin attached to it, something else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're like the receiving end. This isn't about this subject. This is something else, but that's not my problem.
Right.
Have you ever witnessed it? Have you ever been like in an environment where you see like maybe a woman attacking a guy, or a woman attacking
it's
a guy?
the story I was gonna share you. Yeah, and it was my birthday. It was my 30th, and on my 30th birthday, my friend, one of my best friends, Royston, hosted a little party for me at the W Hotel. Yes. And so I invited a very small group, because the next day, 20 of my closest friends we were going to Barcelona to actually celebrate the actual birthday itself. So we get there, having a lovely day, old students, new students, like bliss. As I'm leaving the club, I drown in champagne and I trip off like a step, and I'm like literally like gagging. And there was this girl who I knew loosely through the industry, not my friend, not my acquaintance, just knew her loosely. She had got someone else's Magnum champagne and poured it over me, thinking that's okay. So I'm drenched. Lucky I was wearing all black, but like I'm the kind of person, the way I go back home is the way I left the house in the first place. Second of all, me and my peeps, even my acquaintances, we don't do floor work when we're out, and we don't do waterworks. We're not messy like that. So even in the most hypest of moments, you ain't showering me with shit.
Yeah, calm down.
And I'm not going on the floor because I'm not a dog. So when she did this, I was offended, I was bamboozled by it all, and I was just wet. So I look at her, and she's like, yeah, happy birthday. I was like, babe, no, this is not okay with me. Like, and then so I'm doing, and there's an awkward silence, and then that would be, I thought, a perfect opportunity for her to read the room and be like, I'm sorry.
My bad.
Let me get you a napkin or something. And then she goes, oh yeah, but Royston told me to do. Royston had left 5-10 minutes beforehand. I was one of the last people to leave because I was waiting for all my guests to leave, because my friend Sean had got me we extended the party to the box, so we were going elsewhere.
Love the box.
That's where you do the floor work.
Right, not yet. But there was no one there, so she panicked and she was starting to blame people. I was like, look left again, babe. No one's there. So, and I was like, little do you know, me and Royce are best friends. We would never do that to each other. So then I got even more offended because I was like, you can't even say sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, do you know what? And then she started coming up to me. She's like, no, giving me excuses and reasons. I was like, you're missing the point. I'm wet on my birthday and you haven't said sorry. Move. So I started walking, and then my boyfriend at the time saw the altercation. And so I'm doing this, and then he's like, just walk. And then she starts to shout at me for me being pissed off at her. Mind you, I haven't sworn at her. I've just told her that I'm pissed off. And I said to her, you know, move. Then the person that she came with was actually one of my guests, but she wasn't in our section. She was in her own section. So I never saw her for the whole day, the whole night. And I said to the gentleman, who's my friend, I was like, I get worried about where women go after dark, especially if they're under the influence, because she was drunk.
Right.
Can you please get your friend home? Because where we're going, she's not welcome. And I don't want her to be home alone. And I was like, I know this might F up your plans because you were invited to the after party, but we're going to be there till dusk. So
You genuinely said that?
yeah, of course I do. Listen,
Oh, that's really nice
no,
of
you
you
don't,
to say.
So
you
nice.
don't understand. You don't understand. Like when women go home, especially when they're wearing nice stuff shorts, I worry about them. I worry about my girls, and
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
she had pissed you off, and she
Yeah.
and so you could have just been affected by that and be like, I'm out.
I need you to go home, but I need you to go home safely. So by ensuring that you're home safely, I can now continue with my night, because even though I'm in rage mode, I still care about how you get home.
That's
and you.
impressive.
So this is what happened. So we're walking out after this conversation with her
You
friends.
mean this story isn't over?
No. Oh, Dwayne, this is chapter 1.
So she didn't go home.
No. So then the lift, or the elevator for my American listeners,
Yep.
is full. And my boyfriend at the time pushes me in and squeezes in. We're literally like this because he's like, I have to separate these two.
Yeah.
Right? You know what she does? She stops the lift and squeezes in. There's no room for other people. If let's say if the capacity is 15, there's 20 people in there already. So she inserts herself in with her friend, and she's talking at me, trying to justify, talking at me and justifying why it was done, when it's besides the point or reasoning why you did it. You shouldn't have done it, period, and you're not apologizing. So I'm saying to her on the way down, I'm like, all I wanted was an apology, but now it's too late. Like, go home. I don't want to engage in this. So as I walk out, I leave them. And I go to the box. And as I'm going to the box, I'm shimmying because I'm like, this
Let me take this off me.
because I've got people still rocking with me and we're about to have a lit night at the box.
Right.
We get to the box. Cisco's getting a bit dry now, right? He's a bit dry. And I'm like, great. I'm back. New music. Ruff.
Shazam.
So I'm sitting in the box. For those that don't know, in the booth area, you can either sit on the seat or stand on the seat, and then on the ledge you can sit down. So you're a bit higher than usual. So I'm sitting there now, having my cocktail. Everyone's sorted for drinks. The box love me. Sean knows, my best friend Sean, my other best friend Sean has the hookup, so we're good. Who walks in?
No.
Not this female.
So this person walks in, and so when I see it, like I said to you, my palms start going like this, but then now my neck starts doing the hula.
You got Beyonce head.
Because I'm like, if I was a girl, I would launch for you, but I can't. And because I still have that reserved anger still that wasn't fully purged from me, I started rattling. And I'm not even talking metaphorically, like
physically.
Like, because I'm like, now's the audacity. You're not going to and I'm like, this is my birthday. This is the eve to my 30th birthday. You are not going to be the highlight of it. So I looked at the table. And as she's walking, little did I know, she came to apologize. Too late. If you want to apologize to me, I told you to go home. You DM me or we speak after my birthday celebrations, because I will give you the time for an apology. I'll give everyone the time for an apology.
But right
not there
now,
and then. What you want is the free drinks.
You want
the
you basically
experience.
want to continue the night.
Yeah.
So
Know a time and place.
yeah.
So
Read the room.
So I said to another really close friend of mine, Craig, next to me, I was like, I'm gonna get her. And he was like, what? And so the 2 jugs of drinks, the
mixers.
the mixers, the cranberry and the orange juice.
Yeah.
So I grabbed both of them, stood up, and as she came towards me, Craig was like, no. He grabs one of them, but it was too late. I just poured her, and it drenched all over her. And I stood there, and I went, yeah, it's not good to be wet, is it? Because you didn't come out of your house bloody fucking wet. Now move. And then as I said that, security saw it, and because I'm a regular, they nearly rugby tackled her out of the situation. Sean had to like bring it out of the situation, and it was a moment. And I stood there with my hip to the left, and I was like, yeah. And
you know what makes it worse? I feel like now I've remembered this, like I heard about this.
Yeah. And then I looked to the right, and then I just see people stunned because some of these people are acquaintances or friends of her.
Of course.
But everyone by now has heard the story. So it's kind of like weird juxtaposition of like, she deserved that, but oh, come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'm going on the selfish train. It's going choo-choo. This is my freaking birthday. You overstepped the mark. I try to look after you. Your friend was supposed to take you home. What you doing here?
Yeah, you crossed the third
I
strike.
reacted the best way I could without beating a bitch up. And I was never going to do
But
that.
I'm proud of you for not
But I
beating
was
a
there.
bitch up.
Right. But this is the thing, though. We also don't think about the aftermath of that. Correct? Right. Because unfortunately the drama continued after that. She then sent me a DM about 2 weeks after, literally cussing me out, contradicting everything that she said to me in the past when we have seen each other socially. So she was just angry, right? Anyway, but because of the gentleman that I was becoming, or that I am becoming, that didn't coincide with the man that I was. We all might have a petty side, right? We all might have that aggressive streak.
Of course.
But when you're at the fork of the road, even at the most hyper state, you still have a choice. And I gave in. And I'm not gonna lie, it didn't take me long to like forgive myself for it. You know what I mean? Because I did think she warranted it, given the situation. But with the man I am and I was becoming, I would never do that.
And what people will probably take away is not that she threw a drink over you.
Because of who I am in the industry, exactly.
Yeah.
But
very true.
I didn't.
It tarnishes your name, not theirs.
I didn't lose sleep over it, but
Yeah.
because of this person's reputation and what she kept on doing months after that, my birthday, people were literally like, Cisco, I would have done that and then some, because there was other occasions that I don't need to get into, but where she provoked me even more. But because I had to like almost ask for forgiveness to the man upstairs and be like, look, I was out of pocket. That might have been a test. I failed it. I understand that is not the way to treat a woman. She wasn't endangering me in any way. She just irritated me. So the least I could have done is maybe exchange a few words or got security to escort her, not been, turned like I was in an episode of Love and Hip Hop, because that's exactly what that was.
That really was Love and
That really
Hip Hop.
was. But you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. Even though like it felt so bad and like I would never do that again. Listen, it felt so sweet. So sweet doing
There is
it.
always an element of it feeling good just in that one
Because I know this
moment.
person is that type of girl, or she was,
Right.
because I don't speak to her anymore.
Fingers crossed it was a lesson learned.
Fingers crossed.
Well, the thing is, it was for Cisco.
Yeah.
And that's all he can focus on.
Yeah.
True.
Because I'm just like, that feeling, I don't get to be petty often.
Right.
Oh, at all. So to do it, especially after so much was, because I'm like an eye for an eye, a cheek for a cheek kind of person. You know what I mean? So to give her back, and she was wearing a beige trench coat, and she just ruined. It was all ruined. I was just like, oh, it feels so good. And I was like, you know what? You look like a twat. I was like, do you know what? It's your birthday.
Which one got over her, the juice or the cranberry?
Oh, do you know what? This is how mean I am. The orange juice, and I wish it was the cranberry.
To stain that jacket.
Yes.
Nice.
But
See,
Craig grabbed the cranberry, and the reason why I
you was
didn't
gonna
fight
do
Craig.
both.
Yeah.
You
were going to make her a
This is
cocktail.
a magnum-sized
You know the mixer jokes that they
champagne
bring. Oh.
that I nearly choked on. One is not enough. Do you know what? I would have gone as far. You know the bucket, the ice bucket.
ice
If that would have
bucket.
been empty, that would have been around the head. That's how pissed off I was, because I was like, even as I was embarrassed publicly, even as I was talked at and violated my space and ruined my birthday, whatever, you have the audacity to come back to the part 2 of my birthday. Oh no, bitch, you're gonna learn today.
As he stirs the cauldron pot. You're going to learn today.
Like, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
so the moral of the story is, where I am now, I would never do that. But it was, to wrap it up, it's like, I've experienced when a woman takes advantage of my kindness and my chivalry or of a man, period.
Yeah.
And it's like when you do something like that, it's not up to you what happens next. And if you're not going to take it there and fix it, then you have to be prepared for the repercussions. Male, female, anything in between, it doesn't matter.
Play
It's not
stupid
up to
games,
you.
win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
It's not up to you what happens next. All of those are just really good for me.
Have you guys ever had an experience like that?
Not with a woman. Like I've been out and like I was in London a few weeks ago, and Georgia, my fiance, flagged down a taxi, and a guy went to get it, and Georgia was like, "Oh, sorry, I flagged it down," and he just started. He went, "The fuck do you mean you flagged it down? Fuck you!" Like some grown ass man. Switch. I was ready to kill
Not
him.
my woman.
Like the ginger come out. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'll
Super
kill you.
Saiyan.
Yeah, and Georgia was like, "No, leave it," and I was angry for about 2 hours. Like I get that, like, but it's protective.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
Like
you've never had that. A woman's never
Not a
done that.
woman,
I've
not
had-
the woman not at the receiving end. Like you've never choked a partner.
No.
Or like
No.
slapped her with a shoe.
No.
No, okay.
I had a woman in a girl in Penzance like screaming abuse at me, but I was just the bigger man. I was just like, look, just fuck off, go away. But because I told her to fuck off, she tried getting all the man them to try and fight me. And then I was game. Do you know what I mean? Then I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I hope it happens so I can
Then I was
get
like,
a
okay,
quick.
yeah, let's go outside and I'll beat you up. 'Cause I can't hit her, but I can hit you. But I was game for that.
That caveman mentality. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like there's someone I can release this frustration with.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because it is.
Yeah.
It's a concentrated feeling that you're like, why am I now living with this? I need to get it out.
but I've done nothing wrong.
Right. Dwayne,
I think with female friends, because I've got a lot of female friends.
you chokeslam someone. Is that
Like,
what you're
I
saying?
haven't chokeslam anyone, but they've pushed and tested the boundaries, and I've reacted like you. I remember two of my friends actually have poured a drink on me.
Ooh.
Two of my female friends,
I've never
and
had
they were
that.
still friends to this day, still friends. But because, like you said, alcohol and all these things, like they felt a certain way about what I did, so they're reacting to what I did. But what I did was never with any intention to make them feel small or disrespect them, and they've just taken it so much further. It's like instantly drink, and you're like, oh, dash it in your face. But my friends,
Do you dash it back?
no, they dash it on me. My brother's done that before, but I've cussed out their club.
But
I've just been like, I've had to tell them, like, don't you ever. There was the one friend who did it to me when she threw a drink on me. I laughed, and then I realized what she'd done, and I said, hold on. I never spoke to her for a little while. She
Yeah.
thought our friendship was over. I just needed time.
That's like spitting in someone's face. I think
pretty much.
Yeah.
it's like
Do you
step
know what I
down
mean?
from that, isn't it?
You know, and I've had I've had certain girls. I remember going 10 rooms. There's
10
like there
rooms.
was a certain I remember certain girl I just remember saying to AZ, like, there's just something about her, man. She wanted, this girl just had it in for me. But it turns out, I reckon she just had a little fancy.
yeah, and that was the only attention she could get. So
Do you know what I mean? And
anything's better than nothing.
And it was kind of like, it was just unnecessary though, because regardless of whether we could have just been cool. Like,
Yeah, you
regardless
could
of
have had a
whether-
rapport.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that nothing could happen, but at least we could be cool.
But again, we're conditioned for this to be okay, right? Because like, think how many films you see where like the woman slaps the guy and leaves, or the woman throws a drink at a guy. Like,
Yeah.
And it's
we're
okay.
conditioned. We're conditioned that this okay because we pay to watch it on the big screen or in programs.
It's a mess. So am I right in thinking that no to hitting women, but if a woman hits you and it can't be avoided or intervened by someone else, you will politely restrain her but not beat her?
Yes.
Yes.
Restrain.
Cool.
Restrain or remove myself.
Remove yourself from the
Kiss her
situation.
till she goes away.
Or pour orange juice. Got it. No, I'm joking. Gentlemen, thank you. I thought this was actually going to be more difficult. I thought you were going to tell me that, that. I don't
What, that
know.
we actually choke slam a woman.
Well, no, because it's so common for men to hit women. I'm sorry, it's not uncommon, but so
No, you're
so
right.
for-
I
for
guess
some-
it's just
and
not
sometime-
common in my,
generation.
or just in my circle.
So-
Yeah, I
right.
think in our will, I do think a big part to play is like the jobs that we have. We're always around women, so maybe our respect for women is different because like a lot of the time women are our bosses or they
That's
are
true.
above us. You know what I mean?
Or our counterparts. Yeah,
whereas a lot of times men are the more dominant. But in this industry, I know, people will argue maybe men still are, but there's a lot of times where we go on there, there's the same amount of
Oh, we're
women as men.
outnumbered. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
outnumbered
definitely.
massively. So maybe it's different because of our
True.
circumstances.
Wow. Well, thank you, lads.
Thank you.
Oh, the progressive question this week is super simple. Do women get a pass because they are female? Do women get a pass because they are female? Let me know your thoughts, guys. You know we want you to join in the conversation. Thank you so much for joining in, Kane and Dwayne. Always a pleasure.
Always.
One of my favorite parts of the evening. Remember, whatever you do, keep it real without the spiel.